government is really standing out there, and I'd want to invite a few government representatives on this call to take us through their processes and their country experiences on administrative data. I'd like to start with Diego Andrade from INEC, Ecuador, who will be taking us through his experience on statistical harnessing of administrative data. Diego, you have 7 minutes. Over to you.
Thank you very much. With good data, better lives. It is the slogan of INEC, the Ecuadorian Statistics Office, that works every day in order to provide the best information possible for the country. Hello everyone, my name is Diego Andrade, INEC's Executive Director. It is a pleasure to be here sharing with all of you. In this opportunity, I'm going to talk about INEC's statistical harnessing of administrative data. INEC is the coordinator of the National Statistical System. This function is executed through identification and organization of the National Statistical System, short, medium, and long-term statistical planning, evaluation, and statistical quality through the Quality Assurance Framework. The Institute updates its inventories of information sources every year, identifying and characterizing statistical operations generated by the National Statistical System. By 2020, 75 records with a statistical potential and 75 record-based statistics were identified, used for information for decision-making. The use of administrative records is a priority for the Institute. Therefore, processes of diagnosis, strengthening, and integration of these sources are carried out. This experience has allowed the Institute to provide technical assistance to national statistical systems entities to strengthen their statistical production processes, seeking to provide timely and disaggregated information at lower costs. In order to take advantage from administrative registers in statistical production, those must go through statistical processing, in which administrative units and variables are transformed into statistical units and variables. To carry out this process, it is necessary to apply the following 3 pillars: methodology, that is based on statistical theory, information technology, such as big data tools and others, and 3, legal framework or data protection to guarantee the confidentiality of the data. Once the administrative register is transformed in the statistical register, this data could be used to validate and recover the identity of the entities, to improve accuracy, to complete missing values, to improve completeness, to correct and impute data, to improve quality, and add new variables to be analyzed, such as generating new indicators and studies. The administrative registers generated by the different institutions are collected and stored in a secure environment with restricted access, where data and the respective metadata are handled. This environment is divided into 3 stages: data collection, processing, and analysis. INEC has established a protocol for the transformation of administrative records into statistical records, which contains following steps: profiling, data correction, standardization, accuracy, coherence, duplicate values analysis, integration, and pseudonymization. Once the data is processed, it is released to the other areas so they can continue with their analysis. The first example of harnessing administrative data I brought today is the Statistical Register of General Debts. In recent years, Ecuador has implemented improvements focused on quality issues and information opportunities. Through their institutional coordination between the Ministry of Public Health, the Civil Registry Office, and the Ecuadorian NSO, the following improvements can be made. First, the implementation of the Vital Statistical Electronic Register in 2016, the intentional search and classification of maternal deaths, further validation by epidemiological investigation for death causes, and cause of death harmonization for homicide and suicide cases. These improvements have allowed the following actions executed in the context of the pandemic. We advanced 3 months the publication of general deaths of the year 2019. We create and publish the historical dashboard of deaths from 1997 to 2019. We invite you to visit the website listed on the slide. Another example are the health metrics generated during the pandemic. A week before the sanitary emergency declaration in Ecuador, INEC created a general vulnerability index using information from administrative health records, vital statistics, hospital records, and demographic projections. We generated 2 sub-indices, vulnerability and hospital response index. They are normalized indices that goes from 0 to 100 with municipal representation. They were presented to the National Emergency Committee. The vulnerability index measures the propensity of the population to contract SARS-CoV-2 virus through variables such as overcrowding, use of soap and water to wash hands, self-medication, mortality and morbidity of people over 60 years of age with pre-existing diseases that may present complications. in case of contracting the virus, also proportion of the population over 60 years of age, and population density. In the case of the Hospital Response Index, the response capacity of the municipal health system is estimated using variables such as number of doctors and nurses, number of ICU beds, number of imaging equipment, tomographs and X-rays, and the number of pharmacies and laboratories. The results of the General Vulnerability Index were published in a Geographic Information Viewer for governmental internal use only, within the collaboration of the National Emergency Committee. These actions made possible to generate an early warning and the provision of material and medical equipment to the areas with the greatest susceptibility to the disease. Finally, as you can see in the map, in the early stages of the pandemic, it was possible to map infections by municipality, which allowed a visual correlation with the results of the index. In this sense, it could be predicted that the coastal provinces had greater vulnerability, which was corroborated by the high levels of contagion recorded from April to June. The impact of the pandemic on conventional data collection methods, such as surveys, motivated the Ecuadorian NSO to work on the generation of laboratory statistics from administrative records. The objective was to complement the official laboratory statistics obtained for the National Employment Survey. Administrative data allowed INEC to provide public policy designers two main indicators: number of job positions and the number of workers. The main sources of information to generate these statistics came from the Ecuadorian Institute of Social Security, the Civil Registration Office, records from the National Tax Office, and the INEC Business Directory. These indicators were generated with interinstitutional cooperation to identify and strengthen the administrative data. These indicators were also standardized and approved in the Laboratory Statistics Commission. The benefits of using laboratory indicators from administrative data are to provide systematic, updated, and permanent information for public policy design. They segregated statistical data and studies with panel data, as you can see in the exposed images. The Institute makes available studies and research carried out based on administrative records, which are available on the institutional website for public use. INEC is part of the Administrative Data Collaborative Initiative carried out by the GPSDD and UNSD, and regionally managed by CEPEI and other NSOs. The initiative objective is to address both urgent and long-term needs to access and use administrative data for statistical purposes. Considering the importance of the use of administrative records, INEC participates in all of the 3 task teams within the initiative. It has been a great honor to talk with you today and share our experiences. I hope we can get together next time. Greetings from Quito, Ecuador. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Diego. Thank you for your timekeeping, and it has been really an honor listening to you and hearing the experiences from Latin America.